We're going to cut to, let's say about an hour from now. We're going to head there. They're about, say, like a couple hours away. I'm going to change the scene here. I'm expecting when you change the scene, you roll the scene to see if anything changes to what you're expecting when you're transitioning to a new scene. I want to we're going to cut to us approaching the tower at a distance. We'll see it from a distance. I'm expecting to see a traveling party or a group of Plapendo meeting us further out from their tower. We're going to arrive with these two dudes, with these two hostages subdued, with a sword to their necks. I'm wondering, does anybody know anything about I don't know if it'd be kind of a reach, but I'm gonna ask. Speaker Dawn, does speaker possibly know about their anatomy? Because if you recall, the Uko or the Uk, they were really blobby. You know, there were a lot of weapons that just really weren't effective because their body is amorphous and blobby, and it can morph and stretch, and they can be stabbed in the neck. But I'm just wondering if that's something that we know. With the collective knowledge and Speaker Dawn's history, yeah, definitely. Let's see if I know anything about these people. So you definitely know about the cult itself. I would like to think you would know about them too. So I'm going to say the difficulty of knowing about their anatomy, I'm going to say is high. Maybe above average. The history of their people. The history of their people, you know, is a little far from the anatomy of their people. It's like, you know the history of boa constrictors. And then the question is, do you know how their glands work or something? And it's like, you know, you can know the history of them without really knowing finer details like that. So I'm going to say the difficulty of that is high. So I'm going to say high versus high. The Speaker Dawn know the specifics of how their anatomy works just based off of the history that he knows of them. Holy crap. No. Definitely not. So we have our swords up to their necks without actually knowing that they are pretty much resistant to many types of weapons if they're hit anywhere else. But we will naturally have a sword to their neck. That's what I'm expecting to see, is a group meeting us as we walk up with our hostages. Is that what's going on? Altered scene. So an altered scene means it's what I was thinking, but something is different, which is fun. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to see what's different here. I'm gonna roll a plot point. Destroy the thing. Let me roll a theme with that too. Social. Destroy the thing. This has me a little stumped. Destroy the thing. What is the thing? Mockingly / smelly. Okay. So we are approaching, we are getting ready to meet them. We are attacked by something. Are we attacked by something? Yes, and event / befriend / allies. We are attacked by something. Both groups are attacked by something. Something smelly, and it's something that's native, to this region. It's charging at both groups. Did it come from underground? 50-50. No, but it burrows. Something is attacking us. And whatever happens in this situation is going to potentially bring us on terms of befriending, the cult of Plapindo, getting off to a good foot. They get a chance to see what we're capable of. We get to see what they're capable of. It's a mutual event that's bad for both parties.
The sands suddenly begin to rumble underfoot. The Plapindo cultists begin to assume a specific formation in preparation to defend against whatever it was.
And we're going to need to get through that real quick. So, we are meeting. There's a little bit of cold staring, a little awkward pause. We stop at the top of the hill. They see us. Is it a lot of them? Likely, because we know they roll deep. Is it a lot of them? Look, I'm warming up now. Let's go. Let me get some water. Is it a lot of them? Somewhat likely. Jesus. Yes, event / create / tactics. Let's go.
Let go. Come on.
Yes, it's a lot of them. So much so that they're able to get into some sort of formation. Are there ruins, cliffside buildings nearby? Are there ruined cliffside buildings? A place for for some kind of cover. I know, right? Because we still don't know what this whatever this creature is that's brave enough to attack both parties. We don't know what it's capable of. Is there ruins, cliffside buildings nearby? I'm gonna say somewhat likely. Let me go back to Black Magic. Okay. I'm gonna say somewhat likely. Yes, barium gray. So we are attacked by this thing, right? Something, the ground is shaking. They get into a formation because they probably know what it is. They're from here, right? They know what it is. We're new to this place. We don't know what it is. They're getting into a particular formation, some type of formation. It burrows. Nice, a chance to use my climbing ability. Oh yeah, and there are some kind of structures nearby too. So let's go ahead and figure out what this thing looks like. Go ahead and roll the class. It's an animal. And animals get a boost to their speed and offense, so we know this thing is pretty fast, and it burrows. Putting a face to the rope man, looking forward to that. Putting a face to the rope man. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you had a rope behind the hostage. Yeah, I really like. I like putting together the avatars. It's really fun to incorporate the personality, the abilities, and now the unique feature. That's going to be pretty cool. This is a animal. All right, so let me go ahead and roll. I'm gonna roll a couple D100s because you need D100s on this chart. I'm gonna roll a couple of these. All right, so 8, 30, 99, 60. Remember that, okay? 8, 30, 99, 60. So we know that this is an animal. I'm gonna roll on the animal chart. Oh, wait. Let's figure out the potency. I can roll potency. I'll roll potency. We got to figure out what their size is. The first thing I rolled was an 8. So whatever it is small. It's small. Okay. I rolled a 8. What else did I roll? I already forgot. Give me a second. Let's see. 8, 30, 99, 60. 8, 30, 99, 60. Where's that animal table at? All right, 8. It's small. It's ugly. 99. GM decision. 60. It has holes. It has holes and it digs. My bad, y'all couldn't even see that. Hold on, let me fix this for y'all. My bad. There we go. So we know that it's ugly, it's small, it has hooves, it smells, it can burrow. And then I rolled GM's decision, which lets me choose off of this table. I'm gonna say hooves, it smells, it's small. So for something that's small, they look, it's probably dangerous. Let me go ahead and roll the potency. I'm gonna roll potency to determine how dangerous this thing is, because that's how I'm gonna decide which one of these to pick, since it's my decision. The potency of this creature, more. So that means it's a little bit higher than the baseline average. I'm going to say that this small creature that smells real bad and burrows is probably dangerous because it has horns. It has a horn. This creature burrows. It's fast too. It's small. It has a horn. It stinks. That's how you know it's around. You smell it before you actually see it. And what it does, matter of fact, let's do some world building here. What it does, as much as I want to say it lunges out and stabs you, that's pretty basic, right? What is it that this thing does? First off, this horn that it has, right? This horn. What is that horn like? Irritatingly warlike. Yo, this horn that it has, it is rugged. It has a bunch of different sharp angles. It's warlike. It's meant to just eviscerate. Is it meant to slash you, pierce you, crush you? Is it slashing, piercing, ripping, grinding? You know, what is it? You know, is it meant to slash you? Let's say it's somewhat unlikely. Let's say unlikely. No. And so it's definitely not slash, meaning that it's most definitely meant to pierce. Is it piercing you? Definitely. And it's warlike. So maybe, you know, it's a long spike. Is it a pretty long spike on its head? I'm going to say very likely. Yes, event, befriend, / success. Yes, and usually you know, they travel in packs. Oh man, Speaker Dawn is asking questions we don't want to know the answer to. Speaker Dawn, Varium Gray is asking, does it burrow inside you? And also, as you can see here, it befriends / success. It's usually, sometimes it's more than one. I'm gonna roll a d6 to determine what their packs look like. I'm gonna roll a d6. Okay, it's 1. Sometimes they roll in packs though, but it's 1. Let me write that down. Sometimes in packs. Do these things burrow inside of you? Varium is asking. What are the odds that this thing burrows inside you? What if befriend means that it controls you like a parasite? Oh, that would make sense since I rolled a 1, right? Befriend success and then roll and it's by itself. Does it befriend you? Does it? Yo, do you remember in that previous episode, Great Dart encountered that dude who was like trying to just steal from people and he was kind of weird?
What if a top-heavy, wayward swordsman can be seen flagging him down with a frantic wave of their hand, while trying to keep themselves balanced amidst the strong winds? His tanky.
What if he had one of these parasites inside of him and that's why he was acting so violent? I can't help it, he said. It like burrows inside of you and treats you like a puppet. All right. Does it burrow inside you? I'm going to say likely. Yes. Does it control you once it's inside you? 50-50. No. Woo! Thanks for trying to kill us. No. But it does burrow inside of you. Does it just go through you? Likely. Does it just go through you? Likely. Yes, and it probably really does a lot of damage to your insides. Back to the warlike horn that it has. Warlike horn. Warlike horn does lots of internal damage. It's good that it's only one of these right now. All right. So we smell something, and then we see the Plapindo cultists. They get into their, they get into formation. This beast has no chill. Green Hill, Green says. We don't have anybody in the group that does anything with animals or creatures. Let me think. I'm the blacksmith who can talk to weapons. The weaponsmith who can, and in terms of, and not to get too sidetracked here, but I want the skills to be more leaning on the side of not like superpowers, because I want us to be able to get abilities and powers that are outside the scope of what a normal person can do, but I want that to be something that's earned by experiencing the world. And so I want the skills to be more skill based and less powery. So I was kind of rethinking the whole sentient, I can speak with swords. I don't look at it as I'm having a conversation and it's talking to me. It's more of it's empathy. It's more of a feeling. It's like a person would have a connection with an animal. And it provides different benefits that we can explore, but I just don't want it to be like, it's not like a magical, majestic thing where I'm having a conversation and telepathically talking to a weapon that's miles away or anything. Nothing like that. Where it's more grounded than that. But all right, so we are being there's this thing it's going through the ground. Is it attacking us? Does it come after us, or does it go after Plapindo? Does it come after us? I'm going to say somewhat likely. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. I got green, and I got Speaker Dawn in here. And I got me. I'm going to roll a D3. Matter of fact, I'm going to roll a D4 because I'm going to add our hostages to the situation. Very great. It might be kind of cool to see you have combat empathy with the party too. Like, imagine that which weapon suits. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's something that I put my heart and soul into these weapons. You know what I mean? So it's like giving you a puppy that I bred just for you. What equipment do we have on us? You have everything that you think your character would have for that suits their abilities. You know, we have top-notch weapons. You know, our weapons are sharp. You know, we're probably getting a +1 on that damage because they're well sustained. But you have everything you would, and by weapons I mean forged weapons that I forged or that were forged. I'm not going to say, you know, steel, iron, because we hadn't gotten into metals yet, but it's definitely some sort of hard metallic thing. Bladed hammer, axe. Barium gray, just to tie me in for this, I'm thinking maybe I heard about the weaponsmiths and traveled out here on my own to see about getting a new staff or something, just to tie me in. So you're actually, which explains why Grim isn't here. Everyone is here. You know, obviously I'm going to go back and I'm going to fashion together a little story, but we're actually going to go about that very loosely. We are a traveling party, and so everyone who jumps in at the time is here. If it's something that they can get involved with, we're going to pull them as if they're here. So just more so imagine us as a big group of people. All right, we're a big group, we're a big traveling party, and sometimes I'll specifically only take certain people. But for now, in my head, I want everyone to imagine that we are a traveling group, and the people that have abilities that can deal with the situation we're dealing with, obviously they kind of take more of the center stage than others. So for example, Speaker Dawn, Green, y'all two are here. I'm getting ready to roll to see which one of us is being attacked. And I think Ace the DM, we used him, and we used Grimview. So what we're going to do is I'm going to roll a D6, right? And in that D6, it's going to be me, Green, Speaker Dawn, and then 4 and 5. 4 is going to be the NPCs we have hostage, and 6 is going to be a random person from our group. That's not one of us, but a random person from our group that we used so far, which is Ace the DM and Grimview. We used them so far. Y'all don't worry about that. It's all up here. And I have some notes here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this D6 to see who's being attacked first, since it is attacking us and not us. We smell it. Man, what is that? What does it smell like? Enthusiastically fancy. And it's a fancy smell. Does it smell good? Enthusiastically fancy sounds like it smells good. Does it smell good? I'm going to say likely. Oh man, so whatever it is, it has a smell. It smells good. Smells good. Is it like a musky? Is it musky? I'm gonna say 50-50. Yes, it's a very musky smell. It smells good. Do we have any people, you know, any perfume makers? You know, let's kill this thing and see what we can make from it. That sounds like a really dope role-playing event. Maybe monsters that we encounter. I don't know if we got any like monster hunters or anything, but something to think about. Anyway, which one of us is it attacking? D4. That's the hostages. That thing comes up from the ground. It burrows up from the ground. And it shoots through both of the hostages in one fell swoop. Right through them.
Suddenly, diving from out under the sandy depths and spiraling through the air like a harpoon, a small brown blur lunges through both hostages, skewering them simultaneously with its lengthy, lethally sharp horn. In one clean threading of the needle, this spiraling diver penetrates them, leaving a stripe of blood spouting across the desert sands upon the grievous exit wounds bestowed unto them.
Does it kill them? Very likely. Yes, it goes right through them. into the sand, like a dart, like a harp, like a dolphin, a bloody dolphin. What kind of formation? I want to get an idea of what this formation is, because if they're getting into a formation, that can maybe get us a hint on how you're supposed to handle these things. So, you know, we saw the cult get into a formation when they knew what it was. What does the formation look like? Miserably / classy. So they get into a very when I hear miserable in this situation, I think of relaxed, not like uptight. They get a little loose, almost like they don't care. So the formation is very loose, not like your typical sharp formation. It's very loose, and they look like they're like upright and ready. Upright and ready. So this thing is diving in and out of the ground, y'all. The only way that we're going to be able to defend ourselves from this thing is to react to it when it comes out. This is going to require some reflex. And we all are average on reflex. All of our stats are average. We get a little boost from our, you know, if you have, you'll get a boost to an attribute if it's governed, if you have a skill that governs that attribute. Like one of your main abilities is governed by that attribute. So for example, Speaker Dawn has history. His intelligence is not average. It's above average. It gets a little boost from his history skill. Other than that, all of our attributes are on the same level, and that's average. So we all should have average reflex, unless you feel you deserve a bonus because of one of your main abilities, without it being too much of a reach. This is the way we're going to handle this scene. When I DM, I look at them as scenes and sequences. Agility / climb. You would use agility in the sense of agility is more your maximum speed that you can reach, whereas reflex is your twitch reaction speed. So if you're trying to more so get from point A to point B fast, yes. So it would more so depend on how you're defending. But if these things are hunting you and they're scoping you and jumping out at you, that's going to probably be more reflex. You would probably want to use agility to get out of the situation and run towards one of those structures, because I'm getting ready to play this out like a sequence. We are near a structure, and likely one of us is going to get attacked because it's near here. Now with an average perception, or I'm sorry, average intuition, I'm personally want to see if I'm able to see it be, you know, traveling underground. Is this something that we can see traveling underground? I'm going to ask for myself. With an average intuition, I'm going to say the difficulty is probably high. It's moving fast. It's underground. I'm going to say the difficulty is probably exceptional. I want to roll to see if this is something that I can actually see when it is underground. I'm going to roll for each of us to see real quick. So am I able to see this thing when it's underground? No. Is Green able to see it? You know, Green is you know, he's a very observant person, but his abilities is taunting, rope, and forget what the third one is. Other than that, I think his intuition, pottery. I feel like, oh yeah, we're gonna roll up that third. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. We're gonna do that after I figure out. I don't know, honestly. Pottery that's like a creative thing, right? You got to have, that can either be intelligence or intuition. You can swing either intelligence or intuition when it comes to if you want to approach it that way, unless you just build heavy sculptures and you know that require strength and you want to lean on strength. I'm going to say the difficulty to see this thing is for you is probably just like mine, and that's going to be average versus exceptional. Is green able to see it moving under? No. Is Speaker Dawn able to see it moving under? Speaker Dawn. All right, so let's roll that ability, Speaker Dawn. Speaker Dawn's third skill, disguise. Disguise. That's awesome. Ex-royalty. Probably disguising yourself so people don't recognize you, maybe. But are you able to see this thing moving under the sand? No. All right, so I'm going to make a run for the structure. Am I able, with a agility of average, I'm going to give myself a -1 because we're on sand. Am I able to get to the structure for cover without being attacked? Am I able to get there without being attacked with an average speed? I'm going to use odds for this. I'm going to say likely. And are y'all running with me? Are y'all coming with me? I'm running to the structure. Varium Gray, I know you're coming with me. Right? I think this was your idea. Green, are you running to the tower with us? We're all running to the tower. Yeah, you're coming. Okay. Latency is low tonight. Cool. We're running to the tower. Are we able to get there without being attacked? I'm going to say likely. Exceptional, yes. So we get there, and as soon as we get inside of the structure, one of these creatures dart out and barely misses us. Barely misses one of us. Did it barely miss Green when he was the last one to get into the tower? I'm gonna say very likely. Yeah, it barely misses Green. It goes right over his his shoulder and goes back into the ground. We all sprint toward a nearby ruined structure sitting crooked in the open. The menacing threader zips in and out of the sand over shoulders, between our legs and beyond our heads, barely missing its mark. Green and I make it into the secure structure as Speaker Dawn leaps up and onto the structure's exterior, clambering up it vertically and effortlessly, leading the creature off of our trails and into a dead end. Is this structure that we're in, does it have a floor? I'm going to say likely. Yes. Introduce a new NPC haggle / bureaucracy. Introduce a new NPC. There's somebody in this structure. There's somebody in. While you're up there, Speaker Dawn, do you see any? Do you see any more of those things? Or do you smell any more? Are there any more coming? I'm going to say very unlikely. Damn, why did I ask that? Are they coming for us? Somewhat likely. No. Okay. It's going for them. All right, so this is straight up an attack. They're fighting. They're over there dealing with that. We don't have to fight this thing unless we want to, if we want to go under. But I really don't also want to go in their property, to be honest with you.
We all take cover and gather ourselves. And lo and behold,
it's just one.
We discover Tress Hitch and hiding in a hidden encampment under the collapsed ruin.
Before it,
long since free from their captive, Tress, on her own volition, has infiltrated their ranks and escaped with more knowledge on them than we had hoped for.
I think that if we stand in front of the doorway and Green lures it, we can ensnare it. So stand in front of the doorway, and when it comes at us, remember it has a floor. The structure we're in has a floor. So if it dives at the person in the doorway and that person is able to move out of the way in time, it's going to hit the floor. If Green lays down, uses rope, we can potentially lasso this thing or net this thing. And kill it. As opposed to being out in the sand, I think we should just kind of play like, what's the bull rush thing? Matador. Play Matador with it in the doorway. So when it does miss, we have an opportunity to catch it. If not on the floor, and some kind of, I think a net would be safer because this thing has a really sharp horn, and I'm not looking to get cut up by it. So all of our, let me think, who would be the best for that? It would require reflex. I think Green should do it. I think we should have Green lure it and use one of Green's traps. Let's do that. Green's gonna fashion a trap perfect for our situation. If not, maybe he already has one for the situation. That's some sort of net that we can use. Maybe he alters it, tweaks it a bit for this small creature. But we're gonna prepare a trap for this thing. We're gonna have it dive at us. We're gonna taunt it, lure it, dive at Green. But the Green's gonna have to move out of the way. We have Ace the DM with us too. Ace the DM is with us. He's on reserve. He's on mental reserve. He's in the back of our brains, but he's with us. Kind of like, remember in Final Fantasy, it's just like Final Fantasy. Remember Final Fantasy? You had 3 people in the group, but we're all there. We all come out of your body when it's time for a cutscene. Green, do we have like a shield on us? Could this pass through a shield? Let's ask that question. I don't know if I would be carrying a shield. Would you be carrying a shield? I wouldn't be carrying a shield. Speaker Dawn has a really big book. Is Speaker Dawn willing to use one of his big books? Staff on me, no shield, Green. I don't think I would have a shield. I can't imagine it being something worth throwing away. It's not a cheap book. It's probably very valuable to you. But if it can ensure that Green doesn't get special beam cannon by this this small musky creature. These precious pages. Just one book. Let's see. Does Varium Gray have more than one book that is suitable for this? I'm going to say 50-50. I'm going to say unlikely. Yes. I'm going to roll a D3. Let's see how many books you got that are suitable for this. 2. You have 2 books that are suitable for this. Are these books valuable and not worth, like, this is, you wouldn't want to do this with these books? Are these books valuable? I'm gonna say likely. Are both of these books valuable? Likely. Yes. So there's 2 very valuable books that you have, Varium. I don't know.
Speaker Dawn clambers up to the top of the tower and reaches a suitable vantage point.
Do go through.
There, engage where the creature is below, as well as flag down the cultists we were rendezvousing with.
Pages. Look, at the end of the day, it's piercing. So a hole in a page really isn't that bad, right? If it can even get through the cover. You know, you might, page 1 through 30 might have a hole in them. But you'll have green will be alive. Is Varium Gray gonna let us get one of these books? I'm gonna roll. I would roll if you weren't here. I like the idea. I think I'm gonna do that too. Like, you know, if a character's not here, we're gonna roll based off their personality. Varium Gray. Fine. Reluctantly hands over a history of herbs and herbivores. So what's going to happen is
it became obviously clear that the cultists had no intention of helping us, leaving us for dead in the ambush of this menacing desert predator.
It's fast, but you're going to have the book in front of you just in case. Hopefully it gets stuck in the book and doesn't like bounce off and we got to try again. But if dive out the way and it's going to land in the trap that you set. All right, that's the challenge. All right, your reflex is average. You have a book in front of you. In front of you, you smell this thing coming. So we're going to give you a +1 for the anticipation. Does anyone give real good pep talks? I can't think of anything else to justify giving you another bonus, but you have a +1 because you can smell this thing coming. This is going to be against its attack against you. I'm going to say its attack, we rolled more for its potency, so I'm going to say its attack is above the average of attacks. Does it hit you? Does it hit you? Yes. NPC random event, NPC action, postpone/war. Alright, first let's figure out what happened with you. So it hits you're unable to move out of the way in time. It does go into the book. Does it penetrate the book? I don't think it will. Does it penetrate the book? I'm gonna say, I mean, these things go through bodies, right? We went through 2 bodies. And you're moving out of the way at the same time, so it's definitely not going to go through your body. It's going to, at minimum, it's going to go through an arm, or maybe not even all the way through. Let me ask this: does it penetrate? Does it penetrate the book? Unlikely. 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 Definitely not. It penetrates. It goes through some. Does it stick into the book though? Likely. No. So it kind of bounces off the book. Am I able to catch it while it's in midair? Am I able to catch it while it's in midair? I'm gonna say my average speed. I think the difficulty of this is going to be high. Maybe it breaks on the book with that exception. That's a good point, Misha. Never again will I underestimate the value of thick books. Yo, that was an exceptional no, which calls for an exceptional result. You know, maybe the herbs and herbivore book is a lot stronger than we thought. I shouldn't go glance over that exceptional no. Good call. Good call. Does this creature's horn shatter on Speaker Dawn's book of herbs and herbivores? I'm gonna say I mean, they're known for the spikes, right? I'm gonna say somewhat likely. Does it shatter?
The menacing threader collides with Speaker Dawn's hardened tome, shattering its mangled warhorn upon the dense volumes of pages. The frantically injured critter flops around the stone floor, unable to sustain balance under its semi-paralyzed, hooved hind legs.
Boom! And shatters, and now it's flopping around on the floor. Misha. Good call, Misha. Good call. It shatters on the floor. It's flopping around on the floor. It's no longer a threat. It's no longer a threat, right? I'm going to say 50-50 for the sake of the fun. It's no longer a threat, right? No, it's no longer a threat.
I kick it back out into the sand.
It's small. I mean, I don't know. Do we kill it? I don't see the need to kill it. It's not a threat. We have Tress Hitch with us, for one. I'm going to ask Tress Hitch. I need some answers. Like, is this even worth talking to them? Because she might know more. You know what I mean? You know, we have to clear the record. Now, look, clear the record is for the purpose of clarity. Where do we stand with them? They violently summoned us to come to them. They watched us be attacked. I'm going to ask Tress Hitch, like, yo, do we need to speak to them, or is there nothing to talk about? Because I don't want to put us in danger and have us, you know, going into an ambush if their whole plan is to destroy us. Tress Hitch knows what their plans are more than us because she spent time with them. She broke out. We're going to ask Tress Hitch. First, let me ask, does Tress Hitch have answers, period? I'm going to say very likely. Yes. Does she have enough answers to clear the air, to clear the record, which is our objective? I mean, the fact that she's even here is awesome because that saves us. It does a few things. One, they don't have leverage on us, and two, we probably don't need to put ourselves in danger like that. This might be mission complete right here. And on top of that, still learn about the tower, the settlement. We now know that this structure is, I wonder if they even know. She's an infiltrator. Maybe this is something she discovered. Does she have enough answers for us to potentially clear the, you know how we need to handle or perceive these, you know, this potential threat, our neighbors? Does she have the answers? I'm going to say likely. Yes. Before we go into the details of the conversation, I first want to ask the important questions to guide me down the path of dialogue, and that is, should we even waste our time parlaying with them based off of what Tress Hitch knows, having had just escaped their clutches? Do we need to waste our time parlaying with them? I'm gonna say somewhat likely. Tress Hitch is a very reasonable person, I feel like, but she's a good person. So She's a very benevolent person. I trust her her judgment when it comes to these individuals. Based off what she knows, does she feel that is it worth talking to them? Could we potentially work out something? I'm gonna ask her that. Based off of what she knows, are we able to work something out? Is it worth a try? I always think there's chances. I'm gonna say somewhat likely. Are they worth talking to still? No. So what does she tell us that leads us to believe that this is really a bad idea to go into their home? Imprison / exterior factors. Again, it always comes back to this. Y'all, if you go back and watch all the videos we've done so far, each time we encountered the Plapindo cultists, something always came up that involved them wanting to imprison and capture. She says imprison, exterior factors. I'm going to roll another one. I'm going to blend it all together. Oppress / information. All right, this is enough. This is enough. Y'all agree? Imprison, exterior factors. They want to obviously subdue us, capture us. They know that we are not from here. That's why they captured her to begin with.
Tress Hitch informs us of the cultists' plans to not only remove us from the tower, but also to capture and experiment on us as we are unknown to them in this strange plane. Tress foresees an attack launched against us eventually should they gather the confidence to attack an enemy they know nothing about, hence them observing how we fared against these creatures today. She explains that she will share more information on them when we return home, and ensures us that she knows just enough to clear the record over any doubt there may have been regarding our standing with these hostile neighboring fanatics.
They have a lot of information that they're not telling us. This is information that, I mean, was she able infiltrating? Was she able to learn any of this information that they apparently have a lot of? I'm going to say we're going to use her high infiltration. We're going to say the difficulty of that we're going to say is above average. Was she able to get some information? No. But she knows they're up to no good, though. Man, that was almost a yes. All right. Remember, this story is about this particular settlement, the Tower of Plapindo, and so far we know that they are an enemy. They're going to be an enemy. They are a neighboring enemy, and they're probably going to be a recurring problem. Something I will consider when I'm coming up with role-playing events. 2, we learned that there are some underground passages. Was she able to discover any other underground, additional routes and passages under there that maybe she just didn't go, but, marked for future use? I'm going to put her high infiltration. I'm going to say the difficulty of that is average. Was she able to spot or successfully find benefits in these underground passages, such as other routes, alternate routes? High versus average? No. Is that because there is only one route? 50-50. I just said yes twice. I hit it twice. There's only one route. Okay. Based off her gut feeling and just what she encountered, Tress Hitch, does she believe that they know? Does she think that they know that this underground passage exists. I'm gonna say, because she's an infiltrator, she found this. And I'm gonna say that it's unlikely that they know that exists, that it exists. Do they know that it exists? Yes. Is it a possibility they forgot about? They know it exists. Okay, fair enough. For all we know, like, it's a very open tunnel. It ain't like it was a tunnel from her cell to here, you know what I mean? So it could have been anywhere in there. She was probably all throughout there. Well, the good news is we have our person back. And we now know we have an enemy. Are they still being attacked by these creatures that we just discovered today? Very likely. Exceptional, yes. It's probably more of them. Is it more of them? Very likely. Yes. Are they retreating back into their base? Likely. Yeah, definitely.
Overwhelmed by the pack of menacing threaters, the cultists retreat back into their towers after losing half of their unit. We use this opportunity to depart as well, while our enemies remain distracted.
We need to scram. We need to get out of here too. First off, is Green okay? Is Green all right? He didn't get hurt, right? Is Speaker Dawn's book okay? Yo, what is the we gotta, you know what? We gotta figure out what the cover of this book is made of. Green may be a little shaken, but I think I'll be alright. Good. Did the cover of Urban Herbivores get penetrated at all? I'm gonna say 50-50. Yeah, it got. I'm gonna roll D20 pages. One D20. How many pages got a hole in it now? Just 9. Just 9. Yeah, what is it? What is that cover made of? What is that cover made of? Are we able to get back to our base and escape without any issues? Miriam Gray says that's not even the whole index. Are we able to get back to the base without any issues? I'm going to say likely. Definitely. Okay. So, we have Tress Hitch back. Again, Tress Hitch was one of, I think, the third stranger. We did an episode where she woke up in the tower. You know, there were a few strangers that woke up before us. So there was my first stranger, Hemseer Boone, which I think I'm going to make, like, I'm going to do something else with him, but he's not with us. The second stranger was Grey Dart, who is in Sand City, Mafrafarul. Back home with us now. We'll just say he's back home with us since we're starting a new campaign. But Tress Hitch was someone I also wanted to say was back with us. But the way the rolls were coming out, it made sense to connect Tress Hitch because they were connected to the cult leader, and the cult leader was, or at least one of the generals, captured her or took her. So it made sense to have it be Tress Hitch that was
Karma of the Meta Black manifests as Speaker spots 3 winding trails in the sand, swim toward the formation of cultists, soon to be waylaid by a pack of menacing threaters.
Motivation to go and potentially free her. And we learned that they were just trying to keep us, they had her, but they didn't tell us that. We intimidated the people we captured to have them tell us that they had her hostage. Initially, they just told us they wanted to talk to us and politely, seize our towers. We were able to see through that, thanks to Green's trap. Green says, "Here you go. Speaker Dawn. I guess he hands the book back. Hands the book back to Speaker Dawn. If it makes you feel better, I have a newfound appreciation for books now. For all books now. Sturdy things, aren't they? Good spot. Speaker Dawn / Varian Gray says, I clap Green on the shoulder, trying not to seem sad about the book, but clearly glad Green is alive. Yes. Yes, very brave. I wouldn't have suggested it if I thought that he could, you know, I knew he'd be all right. Maybe not. Maybe not. But that's one thing. You know, the cool thing about this is, these are experiences. These are experiences. Every encounter, every experience, I want it to feel like an accomplishment. Something, even if you lose, you'd be able to say, yo, remember when I fought that dragon, got roughed up, you know, and managed to, you know, get out alive. Which is why I opted to go with maiming as opposed to just flat out death. Because it's all about the experience. It's all about the experience as opposed to recreating people and, you know, muddying and spamming up the Meta Tower video with a bunch of characters. I like to think that just based off of everything that had happened in today's adventure, that's going to build relationships, and I'm going to try my best to still incorporate other strangers, because like I said, I'm approaching it as if we are an entire party that's here, and all the relevant characters, and I say relevant, the ones who can actually have an impact on the situation at hand, which could be anyone depending on what we encounter. That's when they kind of appear on the stage. And, you know, when, you know, in the narrative, in your minds, I just want you to remember and imagine that everyone is here. Everyone is here, unless there's any exceptions. But the ones that actually got involved and participated, or we needed them, they are the ones that are like the focus of what that given episode is. Submit a stranger to expand our repertoire, to increase our chances of survival, and exploring the Meta Black. If there was anybody who was considering joining the stream and or just watching, hopefully they can join the streams as well. But I don't expect everyone to be here. I'm grateful and thankful for everyone that was able to make it today. But at minimum, submit a stranger so you know, you can have some sort of representative in this campaign. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. If you too would like to get involved in our interactive solo role-playing campaign, and you want a stranger to represent yourself for me to use in our exploration of the Meta Black, please head to our Meta Tower video here and follow the brief instructions in that video. See you in the Meta Black.